I'm the demise. This is the new one. I'm now the demise of the Postal Service. Post Office has been losing billions of dollars a year for many, many years. The Postal Service is a joke. Every package it delivers, they lose a lot of money. And that's not fair. They're using COVID to try and get the mail-in ballots. I don't think the Post Office is prepared for a thing like this.
The Post Office disputes that last assertion, and the New York Times says there's a different reason for delays in mail service, writing, quote, in recent weeks, at the direction of a Trump campaign megadonor who was recently named the Postmaster General, the service has stopped paying mail carriers and clerks the overtime necessary to ensure, in a pandemic, that deliveries can be completed each day. Voting rights groups say it's a recipe for disaster. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to welcome to the broadcast Virginia Democratic Congressman Gerry Connolly. He happens to be chairman of the House Oversight Subcommittee on Government Operations, which, as part of its business, monitors the U.S. Postal Service. Thank you, Congressman, so much. I realize it's late at night on a school night for you. Is the U.S. Postal Service ready for this challenge?
I think it is, but it won't be if there's deliberate sabotage. And I am very worried that the new Postmaster General, who is a political donor and crony of Donald Trump, is setting about to impose a political agenda that could damage or disrupt the ability of millions of Americans to vote by mail. But the Postal Service itself is absolutely ready and committed to get those ballots to the electoral boards and have them counted by Election Day.
I don't know if you took an opinion poll, maybe you know data to get people's feelings about the United States Postal Service. Going back to when we are little kids, it's often said that a letter getting delivered from New York to Honolulu for the price of a stamp in 3 days' time is one of the great bargains in the world of 2020. Is this just part of the ongoing rolling destruction of norms and institutions to you, or is this, depending on who this Trump guy is this very distinct and very targeted for November 3rd?
I think it's both. I think there's an ideological overhang on the right that hates the Postal Service because it's three things they hate. It's big, it's quasi-governmental, and it's unionized. But I think Trump himself realizes that this is an election that cannot be won on the merits. And so you have to try to disrupt it. You have to suppress votes. You have to make it harder for people to vote by mail. And he understands that there's going to be an enormous surge of Americans who, in fact, are going to vote by mail this year. And he also knows that in states that have adopted all mail voting, it works. Fraud is minimal, if non-existent. And it works. They're able to get results, and it's fair, and they've expanded the franchise in the process. You asked about public support, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you do a poll today, 17% of Americans, 17% approve of government generally. That number for the Postal Service is 74%. It is the highest publicly esteemed institution in America.
Huge employers of veterans, among other things. I'm going to read to you a quote from one John Dean of Watergate fame. We quoted this on the air Friday night. Time for UPS, Amazon, FedEx, and other national delivery services to step up and design a supplemental system to the U.S. Postal Service to deliver ballots for the 2020 election, plus statewide drop boxes everywhere. Can't let Trump win by destroying the Postal Service. His plan. Congressman, he has a point here. Amazon can tell you where between Hong Kong and Virginia the hairbrush that you ordered is currently. Why not, as a workaround, use some of the other assets we have, even in private business?
I think that's possible. But look, nobody handles the kind of volume that the Postal Service does. Nobody has a mandate by law in terms of universal service. No one has a constitutional mandate like the United States Postal Service. So we can't get around the Postal Service. We can't really do a workaround. And the overwhelming majority of the 630,000 postal employees in the United States believe in their country, believe in their mission, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure this works despite what Donald Trump and his new Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, are trying to do.
630,000 employees. We should repeat that number as often as we can. Congressman, we'd like to keep talking to you on this topic. We hope you are able to raise a ruckus with some of your colleagues. Thank you very much for staying up late with us on a Monday night. Gerald Connolly from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Coming up for us.